Call Her King, your character, Judge King, finds herself in this thrilling hostage situation. How do you mentally prepare for this intense scene and maintain the suspense throughout the film?
How do I mentally say that again?
How do you mentally prepare for this intense scenes and
Oh,
maintain the suspense throughout the film?
got it. Okay. Uh, Phew. Well, I guess preparing for these kind of intense scenes because I've never played a judge before, and I've also never been in an action movie. So this was my first, and I think preparing was just making sure that I have a great team. Like the director was awesome, Wes Miller, and having like support with the gun training, the fight training. I was in training for 2 weeks, but mentally preparing because it was emotional playing a judge who's potentially going to sentence someone to death. I think it was just about trying to really make sure I stay grounded and recognize what that feeling must be like. I actually spoke to real judges and criminal judges who gave me insight on how difficult the job is and emotional it can be. So I think mentally I just try to put myself in the shoes of not just the person being judged but the judge as well, and also just keeping the audience engaged and because it is an intense movie but it's also very very, I think, fun to watch.
Mhm.
um I just wanted to make sure I told the truth and gave people a really good depiction of what could possibly happen, and it's really intense.
What was the most challenging aspect of portraying a character caught such in an intense situation like that?
Yeah. Whew. I would say some of the challenges were just the physicality of the role. It was so physical. My courtroom has been hijacked, and that's scary. But the physical aspect of having to, shooting guns and making sure we knew exactly where we needed to be so no one got hurt. The fighting, me and Lance Gross have a huge scene, and it gets pretty physical. Um, and he does not realize how strong he is. I tell him all the time, I was like, we're supposed to be like just faking it till we make it. And he's so strong. But no, but Lance was a pleasure to work with, honestly. And I think the physical aspect was some of the challenges for me. Also, because I found out I was 6 weeks pregnant when I was shooting this. I just had my baby. And while shooting this movie, I was pregnant until about 12 weeks. And it was really hard. And no one knew that I was pregnant.
Mhm.
Um, so my husband and I were just like making sure that I was safe, going to the doctor. And I did. And I shot the movie. But let me tell you, it was not easy to do, especially because I was having morning sickness every day.
Despite even the intensity of the movie, and then even what you just saying, you being 6 weeks, was there a favorite moment that you had just being on set or just offset?
Favorite moments, going out to dinner on our very first cast dinner when we first got to Camden, New Jersey, which is where the movie was shot. Shout out to Jersey, where I'm from. So the movie was shot in Camden. And we all got together. I remember like the first couple of days we all got there, and the producers, the director, Jason Mitchell, who's amazing in the film and a pleasure to work with. We went out to dinner and just laughed. And that was really cool offset, just to be able to get to know everyone, break bread, just have like a human moment. Moments on set, late night, we would just be kicking it in our little holding area, getting like snacks together, laughing together, making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. It was just really almost like a camp. I felt like I was in camp with
Mhm.
some of my friends at times, and we really bonded. And it wasn't an easy movie to shoot. I'll be honest; it was hard work
Mhm.
because of the courtroom aspect. We used a real courtroom,
Mhm.
and it's a lot of work to red tape because you got to be careful not to disrupt the reality. So I think just being able to have that bonding time with my cast and crew was great.
The character of Gabriel, aka Black Caesar, is portrayed by Lance Gross. Can you talk about the experience working with him and how your on screen dynamic influenced the intensity of the hostage standoffs and scenes?
Ooh. Lance Gross is a beast. He came in hardcore, ready, prepared, killed it. He was kind of the mean villain guy in this movie. And I know him to be such a cool, sweet, gentleman type. So it was definitely like hard for me to see him as this character of Black Caesar, but he killed it. He really killed it. And I think the audience will agree when they see how diverse and how his range is. So working with him and the on-screen tension, we just went in. It was like Tasha meets Lynn. I was like, you ain't about to play because I brought out my power character just a little bit,
Mhm.
and he was giving me all the intensity, and we had fight scenes, we had arguments, and I just felt like I was working with somebody who was really giving me and bringing, and that's the best thing as an actor, when you feel like you have another actor to bounce off of. And he was great. So working with him on screen was wonderful, but I also knew him as a friend, and in the business we knew each other off screen for many years, and we always said, we want to work together. So finally we got this opportunity, and I'm so glad it worked out.
Because even the movie explores, themes of justice, power, and survival. What message do you think viewers can just take away from your character, or just how the court scenes are, or just anything in the movie?
um can you say the last part, because you broke up just a little bit? What
Oh,
was
I
the
was
thing about
saying,
my character?
yeah, like
What
from
did
your
you say?
character. I was just saying basically the movie explores themes of justice, power, and
Yes.
survival. Like, what message do you think your audiences will get from your character, or just people in general in the movie?
Oh, got it. Yes, exactly. So the themes that I hope they get from my character are humility. Remember that no matter how high you sit on your throne,
Mhm.
you can't just judge people, because you will also be judged. So
Yeah.
remember to humble yourself. That's one of the important themes that happens with Judge Jada King, my character, is to humble oneself and to recognize that you're not always right. And
Mhm.
just because you're a judge doesn't make you God, or, less human. You're still human. You are still, able to make mistakes. And I think once the audience sees that, hopefully they will put themselves in the film and start to see, like, we got to stop doing that in our own justice system, or even in our own society. We're constantly throwing judgments onto people before
Mhm.
we really listen to the facts. And that's kind of something that humbles Judge Jada King. So all the characters hopefully will also make people think about the justice system, how unfair and how ridiculous it is that so many innocent men and women, particularly of color, are being incarcerated, and held wrongfully, innocent, and nobody's listening. We're just throwing people in jail, and we're not fixing the problem. So I hope the other themes are justice, and the justice system and its corruption, and also humility, and making sure that we all know that we could be at any point one of the fallen people. We are all imperfect, and that hopefully keeps us humble.
Yes. Throughout your career, you portrayed a variety of complex and, I feel like, multidimensional characters. Is there a particular role or genre besides in the action film that you always want to explore, but you haven't gotten the opportunity to do yet?
Um, I love all the characters I've had to play. Actually, I love playing real life stories. Like, my first film was Notorious, and playing Little Kim was a pleasure, and a lot of fun, just to be something totally different than myself, badass, sexy. Like, she just was out there with it. So Little Kim was fun. The characters that I played, like in Fame, were Mad Men, and also obviously Power, Tasha St. Patrick, and then Judge Jada King. One thing I haven't done yet is maybe a biopic about, like, a very famous singer or star. Like, I've always wanted to tell Lauren Hill's story
Mhm.
and play Lauren Hill. I've always wanted to also play Patti LaBelle, Miss Patti LaBelle. I love Patti LaBelle, and I would love to see, like, her story translated into a film. Um, I like doing biopics, and I look forward to doing more real life stories like that. And then another thing I aspire to do more of is direct. I directed my first short, and I just can't wait for people to see a different side of Naturi Naughton-Lewis. I
Mhm.
want them to see that, oh, she can act, she can sing. She definitely has, the on-screen talent, but I want to bring some powerful stories as a director as well.
Mhm. Because I feel like the entertainment industry can, be competitive or demanding. How do you stay motivated and inspired as an actress? And what advice would you give to aspiring actors or actresses who are just starting their journey with, in the entertainment industry?
Yeah, it is a tough business, and you're right. It is very competitive, and it's not an easy thing to do. My advice for people who are just getting started and how can how can you stay inspired and
Mhm.
also motivated because it's hard. Oof. Stay focused on your craft. Just do the work. Go to class, take acting class, get a coach. Make sure you continue to practice and hone your craft because it's competitive and it's going to get more competitive. The higher up you go, the harder it gets.
Mhm.
So if you do that and also keep good people around you, people who tell you the truth, not people who just yes man, just a yes man or yes woman. You need people to be real with you and say, you know what, no, that's not okay, or it's not cool, and things like that. So keeping good people around you, focus on the work, hone your craft, and just be true to who you are because when the business sucks you up and takes you and tells you, oh, you need to look like this and be like this, if you're not secure in who you are, you will fall prey to that. So
Mhm.
make sure that you just know who you are before you get up in this business.
Mhm. Besides Call Her King, is there any other projects are you working on?
Now, right now, I just had a baby. I was, obviously, I just made an appearance in the last season of Ghost Power Book 2, which was really fun. Um, and that has been an amazing journey to play a character like Tasha for 10 years almost. And yeah, working while pregnant was not easy. So I just took the time after Car King to enjoy my pregnancy, my husband, my daughter, who's 5 years old. And I can't wait to grow my family like I just did, but also to grow as an entertainer. But I'm taking my time to just recover because I just had a baby 5 weeks ago. It's amazing that I'm sitting here talking to you right now,
Yeah.
honestly.
That too with Power and Power Ghost. You have played this character for, like you said, 10 years. How do you love just receiving the feedback of social media, people still constantly, talking about your character all these years, everything that you've done with that character for the last 10 years?
Oh, I love the feedback. It feels amazing. It feels like, job well done. People are really still invested. And it also lets me know that I left a lasting impression on the audience. I apparently the character of Tasha has really impacted the culture,
Mm-hmm.
and the culture is forever changed and hopefully enhanced by the show Power. Shout out to Courtney Kemp, who was our showrunner, and she wrote the show and continues to executive produce on Ghost, and 50 Cent and all the people involved. We really made something special. So I just feel like I got to be a part of something special. I'm a small piece of a link, but it's a large chain that continues to grow. And I'm just grateful that I get to still make people laugh, make people cry, make people angry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that Tasha's still affecting people in a way that feels real. So it's a compliment. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me.
Thank
I
you.
really was loved the movie, loved everything about it. I'm ready for you
Thank
to
you.
action from you from different.
I want to do more. Now I'm like, I got bit by the action bug. I can't wait.